Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Decimal Division Part 2, and I just want to say what a naughty boy I've been with this fraction. This is what not to do. Do not have a decimal in a fraction ever. Naughty Mark. Okay guys, when the last questions we looked at, we had a divisor that was a whole number, and that I think was all pretty straightforward. But sometimes we'll get a question where we have a decimal, so that should be 0.2 there. We have a divisor that's a decimal. So which is the dividend? It's 15. Which is the divisor? 0.2. Now, what do we do when the divisor is a decimal? We do not want a divisor to be a decimal. So that was a rhetorical question. We want a whole number. So rule number 2, ladies and gentlemen, for your summary books. Multiply the divisor by 10 as many times to get a whole number. If you do that, you have to do the same to the dividend. So if we think about this question back here, so 15 divided by 0.2, no, I didn't put my 0 there, but that's, I have put it on there. So if we have a look at that, so for the question 0.2, we can turn into a whole number. If you remember, moving decimals by powers of 10, so our decimal is here at this stage, 0.2. If I multiply it by 10, there's 1 0 in 10. That means I'm going to hop one space. So my decimal place goes rip over here, and we end up with 2. And we can put the decimal at on the right there if we want to. But because I've done that to my divisor to make this a whole number, I have to do the same to my dividend. So I have my 15, and the decimal place can live at the end there. 15.0 is the same as 15, but I have to multiply it by 10 as well. So I have to do a decimal hop of 1 because there's 1 0 in 10, and it means I have to put a 0 here. That's my new decimal place. So I've got 150. I'll put a 0 there behind after that decimal point there. So the question 15 divided by 0.2, I want to convert that divisor to a whole number, which I've done by multiplying by 10, but I had to multiply the dividend by 10 as well. So if I divide 150 by 2, it will be the same answer as 15 divided by 0.2. And just to show you that, so 150 divided by 2, so 2 goes into 1 0 times, and 0 there, so 1 subtract 0 gives me 1, bring down my 5, 15. So how many 2's go into 15? 7, I hear you think. So 7 times 2 is 14. So 15 subtract 14 will give me 1. Bring down my 0. Geez, look at this lovely camera work. So how many 2's go into 10? 5. 5 2's are 10. 10 take 10 is 0, it means we're finished. So 150 divided by 2 is 75. And that means that 0.2 divided by 15 will also equal, I'm just going to put an equal sign here, 75. So ladies and gents, that is the end of that part 2 lesson, and that's the second law. Just to recap, rule number 2 is that you need to multiply the divisor. If your divisor is a decimal, like this chappy here, you're going to multiply the divisor by 10 as many times to get a whole number. But you have to do the same to the dividend. Thank you, ladies and gents.